life, the bright lights, the type the crowd likes. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they wanna be me, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
Pacers at Pistons, NBA shot clock. Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. First official play. Pistons plus 10, 1 unit. An ongoing conversation we've been having for weeks on NBA shot clock is the split between Detroit's actual straight-up record and their ATS efficiency. Detroit currently sits 12-56 straight up, but this team is 24-15 ATS in their last 39, and very specifically 10-6 ATS as a home dog against the Eastern Conference. Indiana comes into tonight's matchup in a brutal spot. They just laid down at home to division rival Cleveland, who was playing without Donovan Mitchell, and now they have to go on the road to play Detroit before traveling to the West Coast for 3 huge games against Golden State, the Lakers, and the Clippers. This is the 4th matchup of the year in this division. 2 words we love: data abundant. Indiana is 3-0 straight up and 3-0 ATS against Detroit this year, and I'll keep saying it. It's hard to clean sweep a division opponent ATS and straight up. In the most recent matchup on February 22nd in Indianapolis, Indiana was laying 12 points and did cover the spread, 129 to 115. This line opens at minus 8.5, getting steamed up, which will help our cause. We have Indiana to win this game at the most by 8 points, by Detroit at plus 10, and let's cash this ticket.
Heat at Cavs. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Wednesday, March 20th with another free pick, and we're rocking with the Cavs team total under 103. Very low number. 2 teams that cannot put the ball in the basket. 2 teams that are really hard to watch right now. This season series is split 1-1 with each team winning on the other's home court. Cleveland got mollywopped at home by like 30-something, and then went to Miami and won by double digits themselves. They won by about 14 or 15. So this game is kind of hard to cap in that sense, and these 2 games were played way back in November and December. Now, what I noticed about the 2 games is this. No Bam Adebayo in either one of those games. And even though Miami didn't have Bam, Cleveland was only able to score 103.5 points per game in the 2 meetings. Guess what? Bam Adebayo is the heart and soul of the Miami defense. I know Jimmy Buckets gets the headlines. Bam is the guy. Just to give you an idea, in the only defensive metric that is reliable if you're trying to rate individual defense, defensive win shares. Bam is a top 10 player in defensive win shares. Bam has almost double the amount of defensive win shares than anybody on his team, including Jimmy Buckets. He's just ahead of Giannis and just below Wemby in defensive win shares, which is top 10. He is an elite defender, and bringing him back into the lineup means that Cleveland, for me, especially with Donovan Mitchell's continued absence with the nasal fracture, points are going to be a problem. I'm not saying Cleveland is not going to win the game because their defense is elite and Miami's offense really struggles. I'm just trying to cap the most reliable thing in this game, which is defense, but I can't take the Miami team total under 100. 100 is a ridiculous number for an NBA game. Give me 103 for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and let's cash another ticket, y'all.
Bucks at Celtics. Big time basketball on this Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. TD Garden, the buy hat is engaged. We're taking the Celtics minus 6.5, 1 unit. This is probably a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals, a rivalry that has been real for a few years now and is being fueled by Boston 0-2 ATS in this matchup this year, coming off their worst loss of the season in Milwaukee on January 11th. On that day, Milwaukee blew out the Celtics incomprehensibly within this season, 135 to 102. But if you go through the box score, it really was a shooting percentage outlier. Boston shot 34 for 91 from the field, and Milwaukee shot 52 for 92 from the field. So the shot dispersion was basically identical. Milwaukee made everything, Boston missed everything. And go back to a game played in Boston on November 22nd. Boston didn't cover the spread, 119 to 116 on a minus 4.5, and blew a huge lead in the fourth quarter. Boston can create margin at home. They're an absolute juggernaut, the best record in the league. A massive statement revenge game by Boston tonight at minus 6.5, and let's cash this ticket.
Sixers at Suns. Junior Browne back with the NBA Shot Clock on this Wednesday, March 20th with another free pick, and we're rocking with the Phoenix Suns minus 8. Big number for a Phoenix team that is 6-7 since the All-Star break and treading water. I don't look at Phoenix like most other people. People expect Phoenix to be a competitor because of the names on paper. Basketball ain't played on paper, just like every other sport. These super teams we've seen over the years, they take at least a full season to gel, and then we usually see what they're about moving forward. At the moment, Phoenix is treading water, 6-7 since the All-Star break, but their offense has actually been very good. Their defense has been a little bit below par, but more importantly, and guys, I say this to you constantly, it's not just about wins and losses, it's who you beat and who beats you. And if you look at the Phoenix Suns losses, other than the 2 losses to Houston, which I can't really explain, all the other teams that have beaten them are teams that are just better than they are. They beat the Denver Nuggets, which is the one team that's better than them that they've beaten. But other than that, the teams that are at their level or better, they are losing to those teams. Philadelphia does not qualify. Philadelphia has improved since the All-Star break defensively, so I have to give Nick Nurse credit for that because he's a defensive coach, and it didn't make sense to me that they just look like a bunch of pylons out there. So they have gotten better defensively. However, since the All-Star break, they're only scoring 101 points per game. That ain't going to get it done against this Phoenix Suns team. Not on the road. Not after the spot with Philadelphia having played 3-5 and then having to travel all the way out to Arizona. It's just a terrible look all around for Philly. A must-win situation for Phoenix, who's fighting for their playoff lives. Give me the Phoenix Suns, minus the 8. Let's cash another ticket, y'all.
Kings at Raptors, 7:30. Scotiabank Arena, a top lean in this game. Raptors plus 3.5 in the first quarter. Sacramento comes across country to the Eastern Conference, where they have underperformed in the first quarter for 2 seasons now. This team is 1-6 ATS in the first quarter at the Eastern Conference if played on a weekday. And this is purely psychology and a time zone change. This team just doesn't get up for games that are being played at 4:30 p.m. on their body time on a weekday. 2 very specific non-covers early at non-playoff teams within the East, Atlanta and Detroit, and finding Toronto off a road loss at Orlando to where they have performed well in recent history, coming home off-road spots in the first quarter. Toronto is 2-1 ATS. Last 3 first quarters at home off a previous road game. We think they come out fast, and Sacramento probably does get them throughout the game. Buy Toronto at plus 3.5 in the first quarter. Top lean in this game, and let's cash this ticket.
Clippers at Blazers. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Wednesday, March 20th with another free pick, and we're rocking with the Clippers team total over 114.5. This is very much a spot play. Can't lay 11.5 with this Clippers team the way they look right now. They're 6-8 since the All-Star break, and it's because of one very specific reason. Their defense has been trash. They're 26th in defense since the All-Star break, which is even worse than this Portland team they're playing, by the way. It's worse than most of the bottom feeders. So until they can figure that out, I cannot be laying double digits with them, especially on the road. However, their offense during that same span has been top 10. So I'm just asking them to go out and continue to do what they've already been doing. Hopefully for their sake they figure out the defense, but that's not my problem. All I need them to do is score over 114.5. This is a team that averages 117 points per game. They've been off since Sunday. The Clippers are 9-1 straight up with 2 days of rest, and they win those games by an average of 10.5 a game. So again, and they average 117.5 points in that split. So all I'm asking the Clippers to do is come out against a bottom feeder. They need wins badly. They're trying to hold on to that fourth spot so they can have home court advantage in at least the first round. Give me the Clippers in a desperation spot, in a motivation spot, over 114.5 team total. Let's cash another ticket, y'all.
Jazz at Thunder, 8 o'clock. Paycom Center in Oklahoma City. We're taking the Thunder at home, -14, 1 unit official. This is the fourth matchup of the year between these division rivals, and you have to go back to December to find the last time they did play in Oklahoma City. An Oklahoma City cover on a -12, 134 to 120. It appears close. It wasn't. Oklahoma City was up 36 points entering the fourth quarter and let their foot off the gas. This is a situational revenge game, a huge motivation spot for Oklahoma City, having taken a loss in Utah on February 6th, 124 to 117. On that given day, Oklahoma City was laying a very short -2 on the road, suggestive of a Jazz win, and now the line is moving up to -15 at open, suggesting a 29-point victory. That might sound insane in professional basketball, but it's not for this Thunder team at home. This team is 12-2 ATS against non-playoff or play-in tournament quality teams this year at home, and they are 6-1 against Western Conference opponents that are not in the playoffs currently at home, with an average win margin of 25.6 points per game. This team is well coached, they're young, they're in the beginning of their arc, and they want to hammer you and let you know about it in their home gym. Utah is 7-8 ATS at the Eastern Conference, fairly decent. Utah is 1-9-1 ATS on the road at Western playoff teams. Buy the Thunder tonight on this big line, the best bet of the day on this Wednesday, March the 20th, 2024 on NBA Shot Clock. Oklahoma City, -14. Let's dominate.
Grizzlies at Warriors. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Wednesday, March 20th with another free pick, and we're rocking with the Golden State Warriors -8. I can give you all kinds of numbers as to how desperate Golden State is. 4 wins. I'd rather give you this one. There's a 35% chance that Golden State makes the playoffs, which means there's a 65% chance they do not. So games like this, to say they're a must-win is the understatement of the year. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies, as well as they've competed, as tough as they've been, they're just not good enough offensively to hang with this Golden State team. Since February 1st, a span of 23 games for Golden State, they've gone 15-8, and their defense is 7th in the league. So they're getting it done by playing elite level defense. It's not their offense that's carrying them. Their offense has been, dare I say, below average, especially by their incredibly high standards. Now, this is a Memphis team in that same span that I mentioned since February 1st is averaging 102 points per game. Since the All-Star break, they're averaging just over 100 a game. It's not going to be enough to hang with this Golden State team at home. Golden State's already lost to Memphis once this year, so they're absolutely not going to take them lightly. And as I mentioned before, they're 35% chance to make the playoffs. That's plus 180 if we're talking in gambling language. Not very good. Golden State needs wins. They're going to get one tonight. And by margin, give me the Warriors -8. Let's cash another ticket, y'all.